Beg my Aunt Donna and the lady she worked with for quarters so I could go to Aladdin's castle.
Oh
Do you guys
my
remember?
gosh.
Yep. Like I was like a little ragamuffin.
We
like,
had Jolly Time.
please, sir.
So
can
we
I
had
have
in
a
Richmond.
Oh,
quarter?"
Jolly
Jolly
Time. I
Time.
forgot about that.
Jolly.
It
Is that
didn't
an arcade?
close for that was our
That's
arcade.
so funny.
Okay.
The Richmond Mall.
My,
I mean, it
friend
still
Kristen and
exists,
I-
but man.
So there was a Gold Star Chili right there.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
Richmond.
right
from
across
Jolly
from
Time.
Jolly Time. Yeah.
So my friend Kristen and I would go get Gold Star Chili and somehow sneak it in to the movie theater.
Nice.
That's like my favorite thing, though,
Yeah,
to
dude.
sneak food into the movie theater.
I mean, you
love
know, like
doing it.
those full size
Right,
to
yeah.
go containers.
How
Like we
did
would
you-
get, I don't know,
Like,
but we
you
sure
get like
did.
a 5-way.
I mean, we used to get big things of chili cheese fries
And sneak
and
it
sneak
into
it
the
in.
theater.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
awesome.
gosh! Wow,
I saw
without spilling it.
the Harry
that's
Potter.
that's impressive. That's
when
really impressive.
the Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out. Harry
Mhm.
Potter and Deathly
Uh-huh.
Hallows at Cinemark. I went to the double feature.
At the
right?
Richmond Mall?
At the no.
Oh,
At
okay.
there was a new Cinemark.
Okay.
At
Richmond Center.
Richmond Center, right here in Richmond, Kentucky, where we're not.
We're in
today.
Berea.
But anyway,
We're right down the road.
we're right
Your
down
look
the
is just
road.
like I don't know how to recover from
Yeah.
that.
April, help me. What's my line? Anyway, sorry. No, this is stupid and
I wish-
anticlimactic. In between movies,
I wish the genie to be free.
I know. Phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty living space. Some people in between Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Deathly Hallows Part 2 went to Golden Corral, and you can't even do this anyway. They're right beside
Well,
us.
Golden Corral's no. Golden Corral is there. Ryan's is
It
gone.
was brand new there when this happened, right?
Wow.
And they filled the big purse with
Dude,
like buffet
I almost
items.
spit water into the mic.
And they're like throughout Deathly Hallows Part 2, they're like out of the big purse. I'm talking about like pieces of like meatloaf on like plates. Right beside me is like
How
See,
about
I'm
the
thinking,
chocolate
like,
fountain?
it's like
You want a
I
chicken
think
wing?
They stole the whole chocolate fountain.
No, it's like Mary Poppins' bag. You pull
Yeah,
it out,
right.
and it's still running.
Right.
Like it's still upright, and still running, and
For
everything.
sure.
All you
Listen,
it's like magical power source.
I cannot tell you how gross a chocolate fountain is.
Oh,
That thing, I mean,
no.
like, can you imagine all the
It's
like
not.
disease in
I
that
can't.
chocolate fountain?
Well, they try and keep it clean. I will say.
You know
they
what's
at least
worse?
give it the presentation that's like, oh, this is sanitary.
Worse is a cheese fountain. You guys, let's just talk
Ew.
about that for a second.
Oh,
It's a real
God.
because that ain't even cheese. That's like that stuff that comes in a number 10 can. It says like pasteurized hydrogenated cheese food product.
If you have to tell me it's food, it's not.
Right, exactly.
Woo!
Pasteurized processed
Oh.
cheese food.
Hi everybody, we're the Nerd Factor. What's up?
Oh yeah, we have an episode to do.
Yo!
Hi, we are coming to you from the Madison County Public Library
In Berea,
Berea,
Are
Kentucky.
you sure about
Brandon?
that, ladies? Are you sure?
which Brandon is down the road from Richmond.
It's
So
true. It's true. I'm
Just-
Brandon. I'm eating my oatmeal.
I'm April. I have my glass of water.
I am Cece, and I'm tired.
Yeah, dude. Right on.
Oh boy.
Kentucky played at 10 last night, so the game didn't
Oh.
end till like 12:30.
I didn't realize
Wow.
they played that late.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they do play that late.
Champions
but, geez.
Classic. They're playing in this little it's a very small tournament, if you will. It's not even a tournament because they don't play all the teams.
Mm.
But Kentucky, Michigan State, Kansas, and Duke, they're in this thing every year,
Mm.
and it's like the biggest opening of the season deal, I guess.
Okay.
So Duke and Michigan State played at 7:00, and then
So does it count towards their rankings or anything?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I was
yeah.
like, what's the
Everything
point if it doesn't
counts
count?
from this point.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yes, it counts because
Okay.
I mean everything you do right now affects how you're seated in the NCAA's.
Okay, well
so,
then then then
Yeah.
it counts, yeah.
yeah. But and then they put out the college football rankings, which is important right now,
Mm.
at 9, and then Kentucky played at 10. So I was just like, sports ball all night long.
Sports ball.
Sports ball.
All right, dude.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I might have been
that's
asleep at that
late.
point.
That's super. Yeah.
I probably should have gone to sleep.
Meh.
Yeah.
But it was a
Well,
really
I
good
was
game.
really
It was a
tired.
great game.
Yeah,
so
man.
I was
Yeah.
just really, really tired last night because I mean, for some reason yesterday morning I woke up at 4:00 in the morning and I was just awake. It was
Yeah.
4:30, and I was just awake, and so I stayed up all the way until 10 o'clock last night when I went to sleep, But I was exhausted.
I bet you
by
are. It's
that
a long
point.
time to be up.
It was.
The new flavor in my life is my kid doesn't sleep, and I know every parent goes through this, so I don't feel like I'm special or entitled or anything like that, but it's still happening. I'm 14 months in, and it's still happening. So we're like super crunchy, gentle, hippie parents. Like we do elimination, communication, all that pretentious stuff that makes other people like want to punch us. One thing,
I guess at least you know.
for sure. One thing that we definitely are really like we no TV. Like is what we said, no TV, because all these studies, it's like 2 years old, blah 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 blah. Let me tell you a little secret. When that child is up from 2 a.m. to 4:30 or 5 a.m., we're watching Moana.
Well, yeah.
That's
What are
what's
you gonna do?
happening.
Stare
Yeah,
at
it's the
the
world's
dark
best
wall?
baby-
That's what's happening, right? So last night I was like, oh way, do, like it was like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like trying to stay awake and be with my kid.
I mean, is she like wide awake?
I'm talking
running
about ready
around?
to partay. Yes.
Oh
ma'am.
my gosh.
For sure. Yeah. It's,
Oh my gosh.
well, I feel like we got.
That's when you go pack and play.
Yeah, dude. Right.
Moana.
All right.
Nothing you can suffocate on. I'm gonna lay down here right next to you.
Yep.
Daddy's gonna lightly doze.
Yeah, Daddy
He's
definitely.
gonna
Yeah.
get a couple Z's.
Daddy does the lightly dozing thing, so for sure. But anyway, I'm getting to see some good movies. Moana's
That's good.
I've been talking about
Yeah,
Moana.
it's a great movie.
So
It's
good.
a
I feel
great
like
movie.
maybe I brought it up on the podcast, but maybe not.
We
Anyways.
were talking about it at staff training
Okay,
last week.
that's what it was. That's what it was.
Mhm.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it was good. It was good.
So I have this lovely island in the middle of my night of
Of Moana and
zombie,
literal islands.
groggy baby Moana time.
So see how you do it. I can't. I mean, sleep
You
is
just
just
get
so
through it.
important to me.
It's absolutely, completely. I would like to say again, for everyone who's listening, I don't feel special or entitled. Everybody goes through it, but it's one of the worst things that's ever happened to me in my life. It's horrible. It's absolutely.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Literally. But now you just one foot in front of the other, and the next thing you know, then they're taking care of themselves practically,
Right.
and
Right.
you're where I am, where they're doing their own laundry, and partially it's because Tom, who does most of the laundry, mostly because I don't do it right.
Oh,
That's so how I am.
But I don't though. Like I'll swap the laundry out and then forget to get it out of the dryer, so it all wrinkles. Or I'll get it out of the dryer and put it in a basket and then not want to fold it, so it sits in the basket and wrinkles.
Yep.
I'm not trying to call anybody out, but Brooke's the same way.
I'm not naming any names, but her name rhymes with Brooke.
No, she does a good job on like everything, but I'm just so like
Yeah.
possessive of chores
Yeah, you
because
mentioned this,
like
I
to
still
do them
love
my
the story
way.
of you guys trying to change the water filter in
That
the fridge.
Listen, it
fridge
still isn't
filter,
right.
man.
I'm telling you,
Just
Oh, that's great.
the ice
Run
has been
away.
weird. Like I'm just waiting for it to do something else.
Oh,
Right.
that is
So-
hilarious.
right.
But so Tom does most of the laundry. And then, of course, the kids would either not bring their laundry downstairs, and then it's like, well, I'm not going into your room to go get it.
Yeah.
So
for
then
sure.
they run
Yeah.
out of clean clothes.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they're going, where are my clothes? And so then he's scrambling, trying to do it. And so he basically went on strike and said, okay, nope, we're done. And you guys are doing your own laundry.
Heck yeah, man.
And they do.
Stick to your
And
guns.
Katie does an amazing job. She's 13. She does an amazing job keeping up with her own laundry.
All right.
Alex panics when he's down to his last pair of underwear to turn inside out.
All right.
And then goes, is anybody doing any laundry? Can I have the washer?
That's funny.
And then washes everything in like an hour.
You guys, I'm 35, and my laundry behavior is pretty close to that.
That's so funny.
Kind of pretty
It's
close
just
to that.
and I don't think it's necessarily a boy girl thing.
Mm.
I think it's an Alex Katie thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's definitely that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was that weird kid when I was like probably 9, and I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I want to do all the things now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no, Katie
I'm
was.
old
We
enough,
held her
Yeah.
back
know.
some.
Yeah,
Because I'm like, sweetie, hold on. Like she wants to. She's so very much like me. She likes to get learn the idea for how to do something and then go, okay, I'm gonna do it my way now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so
Nice.
she is mini
That's
me
cool.
in so many ways. She
That's
looks
cool.
just like me and is very much my mini me, personality wise.
And she's also super sweet, by the way. Every
She
time
is
I see
Yeah.
her,
very
like, she's
sweet.
just a sweet kid. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
for
love
sure.
her. I'm not as sweet as she is.
I would agree with that.
It's okay. She's got years to catch up. But she was wanting to bake and do all of this baking, and so, but baking is one of those things where you have to learn the science of it,
Hmm.
and you
Yes,
have
you
to
have to do it
follow the
precisely.
recipe of
Yeah,
it,
it's true.
because if you don't, it doesn't work.
That's why I don't do it.
And
Yeah, same,
so
same,
she
yeah.
was trying to do her own thing, and I know I've mentioned brick loaf on here, my version of homemade bread. Well, she was getting like brick cupcakes and brick cakes and brick everything because she was trying to adjust it and do what she wanted to without following the science of it.
Because you just cook.
Yeah, well, so she does now.
Cooking is all to taste, so it's
cooking is easy.
Yeah, baking is hard. Though,
baking is hard though.
I love to cook and have been for a long time. I studied cooking a little tiny bit, but baking, dude, I will mushroom cloud my oven like 6 counties radius. Is like Brandon was trying to bake.
He made a paving stone brownie for April again.
Get out of here! Yeah, right, right. There's like an alert on TV. It's called the stupid alert. I don't know. I don't know. I'm tired too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's stupid alert.
Why don't we just sleep for the rest of the time?
Yes, that's our episode. We're going to sleep now.
You guys can sleep with us. Oh, funny story about that. So years ago, I went on a road trip to New York. And at New York, I found this great, it was a meditation instruction CD. It's kind of, you can,
for a road trip?
That's not a...
So I plug it in.
I'm seeing some problems with this.
I plug it in. Well, there's like a little bit of a there's like 15, 20 minutes of a teaching, like this teacher gives, you know. And then, there's a part of it that's sitting meditation. So I plug it in. I'm in the Catskills. It's like fall. It's gorgeous. And I'm just like really jiving on what this teacher's saying. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, that hits me in the heart. So then the gong rings and the meditation begins. And I'm just enjoying myself. I'm having a good silent drive, you know what I mean? I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. That's how long a meditation session, kind of traditionally lasts. And then from my back seat, some guy coughs really loudly, and I forgot that the CD was in, and I almost wrecked my car. I thought it was like Man with a Hook, like who just couldn't.
Well, I was like, because you didn't tell us that anybody else was
right,
in the vehicle with us. I was
in that moment, there
Who
for
was
sure
there?
was a strange man in the back of my vehicle coughing that I didn't know was there.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Huh?
Yeah.
So
wait.
No, in my mind, you see.
Okay, how many people were in the car with you?
Just myself. Just me, myself, and I.
So where's the cough?
On the CD, right? Because it's just because they're meditating and it's silent,
Gotcha now.
right?
Okay.
They're meditating and it's silent, and then some guy on the CD.
I missed a step there.
I did too. I was like, wait a minute. So there was someone in the car?
Well, so I presented it this way.
Okay,
This took a turn.
Because in my mind, that's what was true. In
That's
my mind, I was
funny.
like,
Oh
what?
my God.
Okay.
That's so funny.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Now we got there.
Well, I guess we should get started.
I would have fallen straight asleep listening to
I
that
would
in the
have
car.
too.
Yeah,
I would have too.
Well, it's just silence.
I just about fall asleep in the car anyway. Because I was the kid that couldn't
Mark
sleep
is dying
too.
again.
And
Mark
my
dies
parents.
every episode at something.
So when I was a kid, we didn't have Moana.
Right.
Right.
Or
So
iPads.
right.
Right.
So my parents used to drive me around to get me to go to sleep.
sure.
So now
Oh,
cars
yeah.
We've done
make
that
me
too.
very, very sleepy.
We've done that too. Got
I
it.
can see
right.
that, yeah.
Sure.
So I have to have like
Put
hype
them in
music
the
turned
carrier
up in the car.
On top of the washer machine or the dryer. Yeah.
Oh, hey, we haven't thought to try that, I don't guess.
The vibration. Because it
Alright.
works with, if she falls asleep in the car,
Yeah.
it might work.
Car sometimes.
It might work.
Anyway,
Anyway, so
what are
let's
we
get
here to
started
talk
now.
about today?
Well, I was
Hello.
going to talk about fantasy football.
Oh, boy.
today,
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to get an education.
as half of our listeners fast forward my part, and go on to your all's
Well,
part.
okay, now I have things to contribute because I have participated in a fantasy football league. I didn't know what I was doing,
don't
but
know
I can share my
anything.
experience.
Anything.
So let me tell you all a funny joke first.
Okay.
So at the club last weekend, there was a comic who opened for Anthony Jeselnik, who's a
Yeah.
big comic.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I really wanted to come and see him.
Sadly, I forget her name, but she was very, very funny.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to look up comedyoffbroadway.com and see who the
Who
feature
opened for,
was
yeah,
for Anthony Jeselnik, I would totally recommend doing that.
Right.
Anyway, so she said that she got into a fantasy league with a bunch of other girls. And when they had their draft, they wanted to draft players who had not been accused of any sort of
Haha.
sexual assault,
Oh, no.
domestic
Okay.
violence,
Oh,
any
no.
kind of like violent,
Right.
acts against women. So she was like, "Cool. So I have a team of kickers and Airbud."
that joke.
That is great.
I know
That joke.
it's so dead on. So I say that because I love the NFL. Love it.
Nice.
I love all the, all the culture around it, all the tradition around it.
Yeah.
I love that. On a Sunday afternoon, there's something for you to do from 1 o'clock. Well, if you watch pregame,
Right.
so from like 11 o'clock to essentially 11 o'clock
Yeah.
p.m.
For sure.
and I am a little conflicted about the other side of it. So like the violent nature of it and all that.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I got into this league, a fantasy league, for the first time, and I really resisted it because I'm like, I don't need one more thing to do.
Sure.
God,
yeah, sure.
I understand that.
So my friends assured me, I'm the only girl in this league also. So my friends assured me, like, it's no big deal. Like, you just draft your players and just kind of watch what they do. That's 100% not how it goes.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
So I was actually moving into my house the day of the draft. So, like, the computer auto-drafted half my team, and then I drafted the rest of it. So I ended up with a pretty decent team. Like,
That's
I've
good.
got Antonio Brown, the
So,
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I need to ask. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. You guys, super duper green. I mean, I know people who have had fantasy leagues, but I've never really picked their brain. So I'm using this up. I'm picking your brain.
Okay.
In a fantasy football league, is it just guys who are playing now, so they have like active games, so you can't be like Troy Aikman.
No, it's guys who are
That's a
actively
fantasy league.
Right.
Oh, but that's also
Well,
a real
I don't know.
thing?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
that would be
that's like
impossible
Madden
because the way it's scored.
2004.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know if it like pulled from stats. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Troy Aikman obviously retired.
Well, it's like a live thing, so it's a
Yeah.
point-based
so it's a live
system.
thing. Okay.
So like, let me pull up my app here. So like on your team, you have everybody that you would need, like on a team, except for like you don't have individual offensive linemen or defensive linemen. Like you have you have quarterback, you have a couple running backs, you have a couple of wide receivers, you have a flex player, so you can put like an extra wide receiver in there if you want to, if you have somebody that's really good.
Right.
You have a tight end, and then you have your defensive players, which is just one player on the
I'm sorry,
list.
I checked out for a minute.
You're like, I have no idea what this means.
April's
I
like,
was like, after
meow,
flex
meow,
player,
meow,
you said extra wide receiver, and I was just like, I'm gone.
No, I'm sitting over here being like, I know those positions. I know what that is. Santa Claus. I know him.
And then you have someone who is a
Quarterback,
kicker.
I know that one.
So it's a point system.
Okay.
So, for instance, a running back, it's like you get 1.5 points for every 10 yards that you rush.
Oh,
I guess.
Okay.
So, and then if they score like an actual touchdown, they get more points.
So why don't you just get the point in your fantasy league here on your app, on your nifty app on your phone? Why don't you just get the point? Oh, I guess because they're not all on the same team in real life. I was
No, they're
ask,
not.
why
No.
don't you just get the points that they
confused.
score?
Oh, yeah.
It's a stupid.
I
No,
mean,
like
yeah.
I've
I'm
got
a big dumb dummy.
I've got
No.
Because like it's
Because
it's
that was
weird
my
how it
that was my
works.
question
Okay,
at first.
okay.
But because you're taking players from the entire league
I
to
get
create
it.
your team.
I get it.
Right.
Right.
So your points are based off of. I do know this much. Your points are based off of their actual actions in the
Yes.
game.
That's-
and if they
so
get
that's
injured
cool. That's cool.
Yes.
or are out or something, your team can get thrown out.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like just
Right.
completely thrown off.
Well, you're just
Okay.
like continuously drafting additional people throughout the year.
If
Yeah.
somebody gets hurt, you can pull.
If somebody gets hurt,
else.
well,
Or
okay,
somebody
so-
drops somebody
Okay.
Right.
for whatever
Okay.
reason.
So,
Okay.
for instance, I've got Eli Manning as the quarterback.
I had him once on my team.
Well, you're probably better then than I'm doing now because he lost one of his best. I think he's a wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know if you've heard of this guy.
No.
So he got hurt like immediately.
Oh.
So
that sucks.
they had to kind of like redo their entire
Like just in real life,
offense.
that sucks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it sucks.
yeah. No
Well,
doubt.
that's one more thing. So like, I get really mad at these guys.
Yeah.
Like super mad at these dudes.
You're blowing my league, man.
For real.
yeah.
Like there was one day, so I have Kareem Hunt on my team.
Okay.
He's the #1 running back in the league.
Nice.
He's also it's his first year in the league.
Right.
So he's brand new. The first week he scored like 51 points, which is unheard of.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's like
Okay.
double what
Yeah.
a like good day would be.
Okay.
So he's not done as well since then because it's his first year and now teams are, adjusting to him.
Right.
So I spent literally all day a couple weeks ago screaming about Kareem Hunt. and like
On
Brooke
the curve, man.
and Brooke was like, I didn't know who Kareem Hunt was at the beginning of this day, but
That's
today
really
I
funny.
am well aware.
So another question, another newbie question. People in your league, can they have the same players as you?
No.
So you kind of all go in together.
Yes.
You choose a league.
It's like
right?
a draft.
So it's like, okay, right.
Yeah.
So we 4 people in this room could be in a league.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
I
could.
could get Kareem Hunt.
It would be real. We should do that next
I mean,
year.
If I did, you
that
could.
would be
could-
so
You
interesting.
could ask, well, yeah. I mean, whoever you
I'm talking about, like,
draft is
starting
your
a new league.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
I see.
But I could ask to trade. So, like,
Oh, that's fun.
say if I was,
Yep.
That's fun.
say if you caught me on that day where I was mad.
Do you wanna do
at
this,
Kareem
Brandon?
Hunt.
That's I know, right? That's fun.
We could
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
I mean, is it too late to start?
Yeah.
Oh, never
We'll do it
mind.
next year.
Never
Okay.
mind. All right, next year, remind us. We should do it just to see
Oh
what
my
happens.
God,
That'd be
like,
great.
Brandon and
If-
I would
if
just
our-
be like, rock,
I
paper,
know,
scissors for
sure.
this
Yeah,
guy.
No, for sure. If our Kardashian photo shoot didn't break the internet, the pictures of Brandon's fantasy football league would completely break our Insta page. Like
We
for
should
sure.
absolutely do that. That sounds like so much fun.
Like, guys, this is a pretty good team, isn't it?
It's all
It's a good team. I got Luke
7 kickers and
Skywalker.
Airbud.
Yeah, 7 kickers and
I got
airbuds.
Chewbacca.
You got Chewbacca.
But like it's really
Pretty sure
addictive.
he's not on one of those teams.
It's super duper addictive.
I bet so.
I'll just say that.
For sure,
yeah.
for sure. I like how there's like such a real life interactive component. Like with your squad, you can be like, that's cool.
Yeah, we did one a couple years ago with several of our theater friends,
Okay.
and some of us knew what we were doing. I was not one of them.
Sure. Yeah.
It was very interesting. I did not win. Not even close.
So does money come into this? Like,
Yes.
can you
you
bet?
can?
Yes.
Are you currently betting?
Well, so we give money at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And then whoever comes in first gets the pot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we did it, there was no
Okay.
betting or anything. It was just bragging rights.
Right on. Right on.
And we, because most of us were like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
It's a free app. Sure, why not? Okay. I learned some interesting things. I learned that I suck at that,
Oh yeah.
but it would be
Me
fun
too,
to do.
I'm sure.
Well, I kind of suck at the
I
doing
fully
it for
anticipate
fun.
you to win, you winning, because you would like actually
Well-
know what unless
You have such a
we
mind
just
for
had
it.
such
Oh, in our league?
and yeah, out of the 4 of us.
Well,
I
see,
do- I just
I'd
mean
be the one that
anywhere.
would like get beat though, because I'd be like working too hard on it.
Oh
you know?
yeah, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
sure, computer, you can randomly generate it for me, and I'll
Right.
check it like in 3
of us,
weeks.
yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Be like, well, we are in a fantasy league. Let me check my phone. And then I'm like,
Oh hey,
Well, you do
I'm
have
winning?
to look.
I don't know why
You
this
do
is
have to
my
look
voice.
week to week because there's bye weeks.
yeah, there
so
are.
your players might not be playing that week.
Yes.
What's a bye week?
They don't play.
Okay.
Yeah, like half your they're not playing that
No, I see. The
that
team.
week, and so half of your team is basically on the bench, so you're not getting any points.
Yeah.
So you pick up other people.
Got it. Oh, so you got to keep on it.
Oh
You,
yeah.
you
gotta
actually
stay on
do,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
But it's not really labor intensive.
That's
It's
fun,
actually
though.
kind of fun though.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
And it's a short period of time. It's not like a
Mhm.
commitment to a long period of time.
It's like 16 weeks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And your phone will tell you. It'll be like, ping, you
Hmm.
need
Yeah.
to update your team.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or it'll say a bench player is projected to score more than so and so.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it helps you with like stats.
I think
and
I think when I
projections
did it,
and
I
stuff
checked it like once a day.
Yeah,
I
but
was alright.
like
Maybe-
projections aren't always right though.
Right
like
on, yeah,
like
for
there's
sure.
a couple guys on my team that are kind of hot right now.
Mhm.
So like, you know, they're supposed to score less than a
Uh-huh.
couple guys on my bench, but I think that they're going to do better.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's the fun part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. When the projections and the predictions are like,
And then you watch them and they have like 15 yards and
Yeah.
score 1 point.
right.
You're like,
But, you know,
never mind.
and then I'm screaming it like Golden Tate all day long.
I'm sitting here trying to think, like, I'm kind of racking my brain. I don't know if you guys can tell, like, what. So outside of the sports world, is there another thing that's like that's an approximation of this?
I
Do you
don't
know
know,
what
but
I mean?
now I'm laughing. Like, I don't know. Like
So fantasy league.
fantasy like Chopped or something.
You know what? I bet there is.
I got Gordon Ramsay. You're going down.
What would be the point system on that? Would they use the baker's number point
dozens.
system?
Yes, the
like
baker's
you
number.
know,
Oh, yeah.
like a cake equals 10
sure.
or whatever. You
Yeah,
know,
good.
muffin plus
Yeah,
muffin
for
They're
sure.
equals.
just being nice.
I got 4. Yeah, they're just being nice. I
Yeah.
got 14 bags of flour.
I'm not sure what you could apply.
How would you do that?
Maybe that could be just a dumb.
Because
Like,
it's like
question.
Fantasy Authors League. How would you? Dibs on James Patterson.
I know for
Yeah.
sure.
We're going
yeah.
on prolific
like
authors.
best-
Automatic
best-selling.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just curious.
That's funny.
I bet somebody out there is innovating. Somebody out
I
there.
don't know. We should look. I, look
I
that
bet
up,
somebody,
see if
some
there's even
library
anything.
out there is doing some
I was
fantasy
just trying to think,
author
like,
league.
no, like,
How could we do this?
like, how could we do a fantasy league like for staff?
Okay, right? That's a great question.
That's
a great question. Yeah.
What is this?
Hmm.
Oh.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
We'll come back to it, everybody.
Interesting. We'll have to let us know if you've got any ideas or thoughts on how we could do this.
What kind of cool
Because
fantasy
this could be pretty
league
cool.
could we
Pretty fun.
do at MCPL, everybody?
Well, like, what else do you compete?
I see. I don't
in?
really. Yeah,
I mean,
know.
like, sports are the obvious.
Well, I think so. So in my mind, I go to like video games, right? Role
Well,
playing
yeah,
games.
fantasy video
Right.
game players.
Right. Like Mario versus like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. I mean, that kind of thing that's done. Anyway.
I mean, we could have video game tournaments.
Well, I think of like role playing games are
I'd be
all
so bad.
stats
I do.
based.
Well, it depends on the game. Depends on the game. First person shooters, I'm actually not terrible.
Yeah,
I kick Tom's
believe
butt
it.
all the time.
I believe it. I believe it.
My son then kicks mine.
Right.
But it's okay.
So role playing games are all stats based, right?
Mhm.
It's
Right.
It's just all it's dressed up really pretty. I think of like one of my favorite role playing games is Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
Star
it's from
Wars.
2003. I know it's really
Mhm.
old.
Star Wars.
It's dressed up so pretty, and you got your lightsaber and all your gear.
As he
and
wears
stuff.
his Star Wars
I
shirt.
know, yeah, you
Right.
have a Star Wars shirt
Oh,
on
yeah,
today.
weren't I? But it all comes down to like what's the stats on your lightsaber? What are the stats on those boots you're wearing? What are the stats of what level is your character at? What's his dexterity and his intelligence and his wisdom and his charisma, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's totally different, but not
I'm just imagining. So you all turn in stats to me.
right.
So I'm imagining
We
like
do.
a fantasy league with like you and Athena and Mark and Ari and Pat.
Stop it.
Oh my God.
I'm your level 10
Never.
outreach coordinator. Oh my- and you're like, yeah,
Roll for
we're all
initiative.
like your characters. Like
Yeah.
Mark is like your level 15 maxed out. He's got like the I don't know, it's like the tech gloves, like gauntlets that like help
Oh
him
my
interface.
gosh. Okay, so we have like circ stats, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
So the number of things that we loan out to
Yeah,
people,
right on.
and it's broken down by not category, but like genre.
Genre,
kind of.
yeah.
So fiction and nonfiction and young adult
Right.
and juvenile fiction and juvenile nonfiction. So those could be
Right.
fantasy players.
Okay, see, listen,
Good.
it's the gears are turning, y'all. The gears are turning.
I'm going to draft juvenile fiction.
yeah, for
and-
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
drafting video games.
Oh.
Well, you are
I
going to
know.
be
I
in
know.
the
I
hole.
might.
Let me tell you.
Well then.
Pretty
All right,
sure
fine. DVDs.
I am for real going to work on this.
This is
Really?
something-
It's
I
something
think
to
this
think
would
about.
be so much
Yeah.
fun.
That'd be, I don't know
This
what
would be so
I
much
think we'll
fun.
do fantasy book circ stats.
fantasy
See
book
for me,
circ.
well,
That's fun.
see for me, if I were to be on the team, you could have points based on how early April gets the calendar out.
That's fun. Okay.
The closer to the beginning of the month that the calendar is out.
So now I'm thinking we could engage our patrons in this too, couldn't we? We could have a big poster.
Oh my gosh, this is a
somewhere.
great idea, you
This is
guys.
a really
Right. What's your favorite genre? Help
I am
fiction
100%
win.
doing this next
Right?
year.
This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so much
The
fun.
fiction and nonfiction are neck and neck, you guys. You know, like they're coming in hot. I got nothing.
Fiction got a 1.5 for every 10 yards that they received.
Right. Right.
She lost me again.
Right. No, it's good. Okay. Look for it, guys. 2018.
This sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
This could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love the idea of the four of us having our own league,
Yeah.
our
We should
own
totally do
fantasy
it.
football league. That just
Well, there's like fantasy baseball, fantasy
Oh, yeah.
basketball.
see. I'm
for
looking on
sure,
here, and
yeah.
I just Googled fantasy leagues, not sports, and I'm not getting much.
Google is just like giving you like
It's like
fantasy
fantasy
face.
sports,
What's
fantasy
wrong with
football
you?
names, fantasy things. But then I find like
So they did not have fantasy
fantasy
fiction
leagues,
versus
not just for
nonfiction?
Christmas. What?
Oh,
So they didn't have fantasy fiction versus nonfiction.
that's too
Not
bad.
that I have
Too
seen
bad.
so far.
That's okay. We're innovating.
I'm
Nobody
only on
steal
page
our
one of
idea.
the results though.
Don't take our idea.
Yeah, no, that's fun. Oh, that should be fun.
Fantasy
I like that
fiction
idea.
versus
That
I think
we
we're
should,
gonna do it.
Okay.
we should absolutely do that. Figure out how to
Fantasy
do
book
that.
Can I share a completely off the topic thing with you all?
Do it.
Yes. Oh, there's a fantasy library league. Mark
Shut
has
up.
looked up.
No, there's not.
Yeah,
What?
fantasy library league. Guess the books we'll read the most.
What?
The
See,
Geneva Public
there
Library
it
in
is.
Awesome.
Geneva,
Boom.
New York, has come up with the most amazing way to gamify the library, the Fantasy Library League.
Stealing it.
In the fantasy in the Fantasy Library League, parentheses FLL. You test your ability to purchase books that your community wants to read, just like a librarian. Players go online or complete a paper form available at your library.
Boom, baby.
Choose an assortment of popular books that are currently available in or coming soon to the libraries. And we'll track how frequently your specific collection title circulates throughout the fall.
So it's individual books.
It's
Like-
individual books, but we could absolutely do this with other
That
things.
is so cool.
That is fun.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Mark emailed this to us.
That data is being collected anyway, right? I mean,
This is-
obviously, we
yeah.
know what we're
2014.
purchasing.
Okay.
This is
You
fair-
know.
somewhat recently.
Oh,
Will you email
man.
that to us?
That is so cool.
So
That is
Abby,
really cool.
Good job,
Abby, if you're
Geneva.
listening, we're going to be talking to you about
Which you know that
this.
she
Yes,
is.
well, we know she is because
We
she's
love
one of
you,
our
Abby.
number one
Yeah, for
fans.
sure.
I said one of, guys. One of. I know there are several of you who have tried to claim the title.
Josh Garrett will riot.
Ricky and Heather will riot too.
They will shake us down.
And Katie
on the
Beth
street.
probably as well.
On
Oh
the
my
street.
gosh.
Heather Angel finding me in
Start,
some
we'll
dark
see us
alley.
start. Okay, bringing the theater reference in there. We'll hear snapping.
Good, right? Okay.
Yep. All
That'd
right,
be
we're
so
done.
great.
Yeah, that's what we'll hear. Oh my gosh. Well, Brandon, what do you have today?
I wanted to talk about something kind of related, maybe. Microtransactions. Can we talk about microtransactions in gaming? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so speaking of fantasy worlds, this is awesome because all of our topics have kind of fed off of this.
Yeah.
This is fun
Our
because I can't wait to
fantasy
get to mine
worlds?
too.
I'm definitely. Well, I've been living in my fantasy world recently. This is
I'm
why
still
I'm
in my
bringing this up.
fantasy world.
I mean, yeah, for sure. So microtransactions, I'm sure listeners, you know what I'm talking about, but they kind of became popularized on smartphone apps. It's a relatively new thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Where you download a game or it doesn't have to be a game, it can be some application, and it's free to download, but there are features that
Okay.
they've left out that you have to then
In-app
pay for.
purchases.
Gotcha.
In-app
Okay.
purchases, microtransactions.
Jeopardy is a game that I play on my phone often.
Sure,
and
sure,
it's one of
sure.
those that
Mhm.
if
Right.
you
Right. I have a couple games on my phone right now, and it's so
I have Candy Crush, and that is it. Because if I have any more than one game, and
Right.
fortunately right now I'm stuck, but I refuse to spend money.
same for me.
Absolutely
That's
refuse.
how I
So
am
I'm
too.
just
Same
like
for me.
I have been stuck on this one level for 2 weeks,
Right.
and I will remain stuck on this level
Right.
until
For
I
sure.
pass it.
Well, Jeopardy, like I feel like if you purchase, because you can purchase these gold bars, okay,
Yeah.
and the
Mhm.
gold bars allow you to kind of not
It's
cheat,
in-game currency.
but yeah,
Yeah.
like if you have like you spend gold bars to shuffle categories. Like
Right.
if you don't like the categories you're given, you
That's
can spend-
cheating.
I think so too.
Right.
So I don't really do stuff like that. And you can also spend gold bars to get more cash, like in-game cash,
Uh-huh.
to play more games. But if you win games, you get cash.
Right.
Right.
So-
See, that's
Right.
where I
so
am.
if you're good at it, right? So the
if you're good at
model,
it like me, then
she
you're-
dusts off
I
her
dust her
shoulders.
shoulders.
if you're a Jeopardy
Okay,
champion,
that's a game I would love to play. We need to go to trivia, guys.
we need to go to trivia, friends.
We should have a trivia
You're our
night.
sports, like you're the person that I need when I go to trivia because I don't have any
Sports
of that.
history.
Sports, anything sportsy people persons.
My knowledge is very broad.
Sportsy people?
What?
People persons. That first P was just a stutter.
Okay.
I thought you actually meant like
Oh no.
a pea person.
Yes.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I don't know what that is.
Like from a pod. Yeah, pea pod.
Sure.
Yeah.
AirPod people.
Right.
The pod people. The ones.
AirPod.
Invasion. This invasion
Call
of
back
the
to another episode a couple weeks ago.
invasion of the
AirPods.
sports.
Oh, that's right.
The AirPods.
I've
Oh,
already
yeah,
forgotten
the
that.
AirPods.
I've already forgotten that and laughed
And
at
then-
it all over again.
And then the pod people with their faces that are actually their heads are shaped like the earpod. What
Yes.
are those called?
Airbuds.
Airbuds.
we already looked it up.
They're not
I
airbuds, you
forgot.
guys.
I know.
They're called
Are
Listen,
they
earphones.
Are
I
they
point out that
AirPods?
this is like the third time we've said Airbud in this episode.
I know, right? Well,
This might be the Airbud
this
episode.
is the Airbud episode, I guess.
we heart you. We heart you, Airbud.
Where are you now, Airbud?
Air buddies.
Oh,
with all the
jeez.
puppies.
So
Airbuddies.
the structure and the premise of microtransactions
Oh yeah, we were talking about a topic.
is well, just to steer us back a little bit because I have stuff to say. I have stuff to say, you guys. Is
No.
I've got something to say.
doggone it! I'll tell you when I've said enough.
Oh.
All right.
I was a bartender
right.
for many years. So it's from a corporate standpoint, it's like brilliant because here's what they
absolutely.
do. Many studies have been done. They tap into your hippocampus, your reward center in your brain. They give you just enough on your Jeopardy game. I'm playing like an arcade shooter game right now. And it gives me just enough reward.
Gives you a little taste.
A little taste, little reward to keep you coming back. Really, it entices you. All the notifications and the pop-ups, and are you sure you don't want to just pay $2.99 and you can get all this in-game currency and have the coolest, mine is like a airplane shooter game. You get the coolest airplane for $2.99, or you can grind, and grinding, as you may know, is a gamer term, which means you do the very repetitive medial task for a long time to get the currency, you know what I mean? Or you can grind for 15 hours. Why would you want to do that? So, from a corporate standpoint, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because they got you. So I want to here are some statistics that you guys really you need to know. First of all, free-to-play microtransactions was what I'm talking about here. Make up 79% of U.S. App Store revenues.
Really?
Basically 80% of all App Store revenues are microtransactions.
I can't think of anything else.
Remember Flappy Bird?
That's what they called me in high school.
No, there was a game called Flappy Bird, and it was only out for just a little while, but it skyrocketed to. Are you clapping with one hand?
I'm Flappy Birding.
Oh,
Sorry.
wasn't really sure what that was. But like it skyrocketed in popularity to where to a point where like I never played it because I don't even know if there were in-game transactions or not. But their ad revenue just on ads from in the game.
Oh, that's another big thing.
Like
for sure.
this kid invented this game and was making so much money that he like reached a certain point and then he took the thing down. Once he reached this one level.
It's like, guys, I'm good.
He's probably set for life.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
I say kid. I think it was
20.
Oh man, I'm feeling suddenly really old because I was like I called a 20-year-old a kid.
Well,
you know.
So what's the other 11%? Do you know what that?
Well,
or not? I'm sorry. The other 21%.
21. Yeah, right. I don't exactly know, but I mean, I can say I've just purchased. I've outright bought apps. For example, there's an app called Sky Guide that works with the gyroscope in your device, and you can see in real time.
That
it's
is
$2.99, right? It's not. It's upfront. It's not download for free, and then if you want to see Venus, you got to pay us $1. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, though.
Right.
Well, there are like running apps like that. Though.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
There are
for
running
sure,
apps that are free.
Right.
I mean, my app that I use comes with my watch, so that was a free app. But like you can pay. I mean, it's a premium price. Like I mean, I think $12 for an app is kind of
I agree.
a high price.
It is a high price.
But they will give you training plans. They will give you like a coach, if you will, that will talk to you during your runs.
Really?
But that's the only app that I've ever seen that costs,
Right. There are a lot of
front.
apps. Graphic design apps. There's a an app called Inlight PhotoFox. I think I actually have it on my phone, but I have the free version. PhotoFox by Inlight. So I have a free version. It has a lot of stuff turned off.
So you had Canva. That is a great free app.
And it's free, dude.
That is a
What is that
fantastic
one?
app.
Canva, it's graphic design.
It's graphic design,
Just
and
the
it is. I
thing.
have it on here too. It's fantastic.
It's awesome.
And you can set it, and it actually comes with templates now to the point where you can select what you're choosing, what you're wanting it to do. You can say, I'm creating a Facebook cover photo. And it's already got the
Instagram
dimensions and
post, yeah.
everything.
Oh, cool. All right.
Instagram post, everything. And so then you have all of these other materials that are already on the app that you can choose from.
Yeah.
There are some that you can purchase, but there's the free ones are actually really good too.
I've never had to make a purchase on
Yeah,
Canva. It's that robust.
just outright refuse. But
for sure.
and then using other things that you have, but it is actually a really fantastic free graphic design app.
Yeah.
I showed it to Christian, who does our Instagram.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh."
Most marketers, if you're a marketer for any kind of an organization, most marketers use Canva.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
The Adobe people are getting a little bit wary of Canva because it's so robust and it's free, right? I mean, there's stuff on Photoshop. So I have a little logo that I designed in Photoshop for my own personal use, right, for my poetry stuff. Canva's not robust enough to do that, so I create a graphic in Canva, right? I throw it together, it looks beautiful and professional, then I throw it into Photoshop because I have a Photoshop subscription, Adobe Creative Cloud.
Right.
I throw the logo on there, and I have like this beautiful thing, and I've only used Photoshop for like 12% of it. That's
Nice.
such a specific 12%.
12%, exactly.
Anyway, I don't know. So yeah, I love this kind of stuff.
I do the same thing though, by the way.
Yeah, right. I love to talk apps, and I love to talk, this kind of mainstream console microtransactions. So this is what really brought this up for me.
Okay.
It's the last thing I want to say on my topic, but I'm really excited about Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm like super duper excited. It's a Star Wars game. For those of you who don't know, it's on all the major consoles. It's coming out like what is today? The 15th or the 16th?
The 15th.
It's coming out on Friday. Is in fact, if you pre-ordered the game, you might be playing it right now. You get it 3 days early. It's by EA Dice. Star Wars Battlefront is a very old franchise. It's like a 20-year-old franchise. April, I played. It's my number one favorite Star Wars game of all time.
Absolutely, mine too.
You could get in this game on original Xbox. You could get in a starship, and you could fly around, and you could shoot the enemy starships, and then you could land it on an enemy aircraft, a carrier. You know what I mean? And get out of your ship, and then shoot them.
And then, they go in. Yeah,
it was. Get back in your ship and fly out in space. It
was awesome.
Awesome.
My favorite thing to do with it was capture the flag.
Totally capture the flag.
Oh my God! Which is basically the whole premise of the game.
Right.
Is capture the base, but capture the flag.
Right.
And man, I would play that game for hours.
So
Loved it.
mainstream console games these days are $60.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And as you may or may not know, they're coming to us more and more over time. This is by far the first iteration of this. They're coming to us unfinished. Developers, and this is I'm saying, and many people are saying, this is predatory. It's like disintegrious. They're throwing these games together, right? For consuming gamers. They're preying on our nostalgia, but much more than that, they're preying on our pocketbooks, right? Because we're going to give us this game, but you have to basically pay on top of the $60 price tag. You have to. There are microtransactions in this game. If you want the guns, they're going to help you compete. Absolutely.
Wow.
Serious. Absolutely serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the people who are
is it in-app currency? Is there like a currency that's specific to that game?
The whole conversation about Star Wars Battlefront right now is about its in-game economy, which is completely backwards because what about the design? What about the story? What about anything else?
Right.
Anything else? Yes, you have to pay money. Okay, hold on. Just to back up, you don't have to if you want to grind for 100 hours to get Luke Skywalker, who should come with the game anyway because you paid $60 for it. Right.
And because it's Star Wars.
Okay.
That really is nuts, though.
Crazy.
That is.
It's predatory.
It really is.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's
I would agree with you 100%.
Wow.
Super duper gross. Yeah.
And
wow.
Is it really not finished? So like they have like a base that they put out, and that's the game that you buy. And then they continue working on it and putting out additional
updates. Some of
different mods and that sort of thing.
Updates and mods. Some of them are free. You'll log onto your game and it'll be like, oh, we have a patch and they're going to give it to you, right? Some of them are not free. What the people in this conversation are calling it, they're calling these games shells. They're releasing another big franchise that's guilty of this is the Call of Duty franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Popular shooter.
Oh,
Everybody knows about Call of Duty.
Right.
Well, the most recent ones, they're releasing them like they're just kind of like glossed over versions of older versions, right? They take the old engine and they put like a shiny coat of paint on it. And anyway, and then you have to pay once you've already paid $60 for the game. Viewers, I'm mad about it, and I'm totally still going to play Star Wars Battlefront probably.
But you should pay $60
and get the game.
The patches come for free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
The loot and the in-game
or
currency
wait until you've got the game finished.
Right.
You know, rather than rushing to put something out, I want okay. Yeah, yesterday or our last episode, depending on when you're consuming this, we talked about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Well, I saw last night that it may be 2019 before we get another season. And on one hand, that's that's so frustrating. I don't want to wait until 2019. I want more Stranger Things right now. But the consumer side of me wants that. But the other part of me, that's the artistic side of me, goes, I want them to take as much time as they absolutely need.
Totally.
To finish this and give us the best story and the best product that they can give us.
Well, why do you think Star Wars Battlefront is coming out on November 17th? Because it's a month away from Christmas.
Pressure to put that out.
There's pressure to put it out. We've talked about that before in various ways. There's, so it's going to be what it's going to be, but it could have been a whole lot better, and they could have chosen to not subscribe to this predatory microtransaction model, but more and more. Guys, it used to be, and I hate to sound like a crotchety old man. I really...
Get off of my lawn, you
Get off of my lawn, you microtransactions, you. Like, I really endeavor in my life to be cool with the way the world's changing and stuff. But this, I can't be cool with this
Yeah.
because I'm still paying a $60 price tag.
Right.
Right? If they reduced if they were integrous about it and said, okay, you can have this game for $25, but
Right.
in game over the next 6 months we're going to charge you $25 more.
Right.
I'd be like, oh, fine,
cool, yeah.
great. Like I'm looking forward to the content. You know what I mean?
Well, and all of this kind of makes sense sort of on our local library level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we started loaning video games back in like 2012 maybe, something like that. It's been fairly recent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fairly.
And like we have
It's still 5 years ago, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's fairly
listen to
recent.
me. But we have like, PS4, we have the new
Oh, yeah.
Xbox, like
Mhm.
we
All the new
have-
stuff,
We
yeah.
have all the new stuff.
Sure.
So I've been a little concerned because it's been trending down. Like
Mm.
people are not checking it out as much as they were.
Oh.
But I think that might be why.
Well, that very
Yeah.
well
like,
may be
why
why.
would you check out a game
Right.
that you don't have all the pieces you need to play
Well,
it?
and if
and
you
you
have
need
it,
to purchase
Right.
more things
if it's
as
a-
you're playing.
That's
it.
exactly right. And if it's a 1 week checkout, the developers have designed these games literally, I know I keep saying predatory, to bleed you dry
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah.
6 months from now, there's
Right.
going to be these new features for $5 each and $6 each,
Right.
and this kind of thing. If you want the cool new outfit on Luke Skywalker that you
Yeah.
paid $20 for 2 months ago, you got to pay $5 today.
But like if you're checking out a game from us, you're
Right.
absolutely not going to pay additional
well, no, for
or
sure
any,
not.
Absolutely
any
not.
money
For sure not.
to
Yeah.
unlock
plus
Because you don't
features
actually
on
own that game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Well,
That's
because
it, yeah.
once you return that game and you don't have that disc, you don't have that game anymore.
Right.
You've thrown the money
Right.
away,
You
basically.
throw, yeah,
Right.
you throw it
For-
away
for a
unless you
weekend.
check it out and you
Yeah.
got it and you bring it back
Right.
and all of your memory is still there and everything.
Right.
That makes plenty of sense, y'all.
That's something
Yeah.
to think about. Games
Mhm.
are going in this direction. It's
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
the best games these days are indie games.
Hmm.
Indie
Yes.
because they're not using this model. All the big what's it called? Not grade A, double A games. I think is what they're called. Like the big
Mhm.
blockbuster high
Mhm.
developer games are going in this direction, and it's I just want to have fun playing a Star
Do you
Wars
play
game.
anything on
man.
Steam?
I don't have a Steam because I don't have a PC.
Okay.
And I don't have like a nice enough rig. I have a Mac and
Alex, my son, plays a lot of PC games.
Yeah.
He also plays console games, but
Yeah.
he plays a lot of PC games.
sure.
And he plays them with his friends. He built his own computer, designed it,
Nice.
and it runs really well. I'm so stinking proud of him for
Nice.
this.
That's the way to go these days,
Um,
honestly.
And so he's
Yeah.
done that. And so he plays a lot of things on Steam and
yeah.
so like Steam will release or a developer through Steam will release something and say, this week this one game StarCraft was for free,
Right.
because they were getting the old
Right.
original StarCraft was free because they were getting ready to release a new version of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they released the old one for free. And so, of course, he and I both downloaded it because I used to play it and I love it. And it's a world building game, but not. It's
It's a fun game.
yeah. It's like, I guess, kind of like Risk is the way I would say it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're you build your base, you build your troops, and then you go and take over the other base.
Yeah.
But you're
Real-time
starting with
strategy.
Yeah, real time
RTS.
strategy. There we go.
Boom.
Thank you. That was what I was searching for. Real time strategy game.
Hey, just like fantasy football.
Hey,
It's
how
a
about
real-time
that?
strategy game, right?
It is.
Come get some, everybody.
There
ladies,
we go.
Ladies,
We've made our
ladies.
connection. But
I don't
so
know.
he does a lot of things with Steam, and then he can, like, if he finds something in a game, he can, with their in-game currency, they can he can sell it for other currency in the game and buy something
That's
else,
cool.
or buy
Yeah.
a new skin for his player,
Mhm,
or
right,
something
right.
like that.
Right.
But he tells me all of this stuff sometimes, and I understand. I will say I understand probably 80% of it.
Right.
Oh, to be like Brandon, 83%.
83.86.
Since I'm very specific,
4.
and so, but he'll say something, and part of it has to do with just him being him at this age, and I'm just like, I have no idea what you just said to me.
Dude, yeah.
I really don't understand the words that were coming out of your mouth. But then, but because I do have, I don't want to say a gaming background, because not I would not consider myself a gamer by any stretch of the imagination,
Mhm.
not as the way that most of society understands gamers.
Mm.
But I do.
You can be a
understand
casual
it.
gamer, man. Yeah.
I'm a casual
You're talking
gamer.
like a gamer a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm a casual gamer. I got the lingo.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So anyway,
You're hip.
it's
You're
interesting.
with it.
I'm hip. Hello, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow kids. Yeah,
kids.
right. April, what do you want to talk about?
Well, after I coughed into my microphone. Sorry about that. I'll disinfect it. Okay. I have 10 minutes. Mark is telling me I have 10 minutes to talk about my topic, which is more than enough.
If you pay 99 cents, you can microtransact yourself away from mine and April's coughing. If you pay us 99 cents, we'll remove all of the coughing from from your iteration of this
99
podcast.
cents per cough.
Per cough. That's
like
right.
Per cough.
All right.
You know, all right. I am on the mend. It's still early yet in the day.
Same for me.
But anyway, so my topic, building off of this whole fantasy world, fantasy league, fantasy everything.
Yeah.
I started looking. I was like, well, let's bring it back to our roots. And, a library, books. Let's start looking at books and authors. And so I went and looked at my bookshelf, and I was like, I don't even know where to go from here. So then I started looking at prolific authors, and I was thinking James Patterson. I've only ever read one James Patterson book out of all of the billions and billions
Same for me. Yeah.
that he has out there. I've only ever read
Which
one.
one was it?
Along Came a Spider.
I think I read that one.
The first in the Alex Cross series.
I read Kiss the
me
Girls.
too. I read the first Alex Cross. I didn't remember. It's been a long
is that
time
the
ago.
only one that all three of us have read?
Well, I have read Kiss the Girls.
Kiss the Girls.
Also.
Hey, that's
Okay,
good.
yeah,
I hear
I
that's
read that
good.
one.
Yeah.
Mark, have you read any James Patterson? Just Along Came a Spider. I guess.
So I'm winning.
You're
in this
winning.
fantasy.
You are winning in this fantasy league.
Yeah, dude. CC's stats are just a little bit higher than ours.
I mean, it was good. It was interesting, but it's not really my genre.
Yeah.
It's just really not my genre. So then I was like, well, fantasy novels. I could talk about fantasy novels. My experience with fantasy novels is still very limited, even though I've read most of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. That's as far as my fantasy world has extended. So then I started looking, and this one author kept coming up that I kept remembering. Barbara, what is her name? Come on, open up. Cartland.
Cheney. Oh.
Barbara Cartland.
Cartland.
If you have
I've heard of Barbara Cartland.
you have, because she is probably one of the most prolific writers ever.
What?
Yes.
Is this a pen name?
Romance novels.
Hmm.
She's from the UK.
Okay.
She actually died in 2000 at the age of 98.
But she's still writing.
Yes. Yes. Actually, you are still getting new books from her because at the time of her death, she still had 164 incomplete manuscripts.
Jeez,
Wow.
Barb.
Yeah. That's the incomplete one.
What accent did you develop just
I
now?
don't know.
I like that you used
That
the
made
word
me-
develop. I went, Barb. I was confused by the end of
It
it.
changed a few times.
It really
the same
did.
Word.
It's like Scotch Irish by the end, I think. Anyway.
I'm not really sure. Just made me think of Shaun of the Dead. We're coming to get you, Barbara.
We're coming to get you, Barbara. I love you, Nick Frost.
I do. I love Shaun of the Dead.
Those
I love
guys.
all of those. I love
Hot Fuzz.
Simon
Hot
Pegg,
Fuzz rules,
Edgar
man.
Wright,
Oh
Nick
my
Frost.
gosh.
Love them. That trio is fantastic.
Right.
And I will one day talk about the Cornetto trilogy.
As well you should.
But so at the time of her death, she had published Open. Gosh.
She published Open Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Was her
I
best
don't know.
Her
if
first, her
how
very
steamy
first
was
book, actually, not very steamy. What just happened?
Move along. Moving along.
Okay, it was not very steamy at all because I don't even know what is. Cece is dying and Brandon is embarrassed. I don't know what has happened.
I'm really happy that you. I'm just sipping my coffee and I'm listening. Has it opened? Gosh.
It finally opened.
Good. Oh, good. I'm glad.
Okay. Anyway, she wrote all of these romance novels. If you've ever read a romance novel, you have probably heard of this woman. It still hasn't told me how many books she has read or written. I'm getting there. But
She's coming to get you, Barbara.
Open Gosh.
Oh my God, 723 novels. Finally, it got there.
Holy, she is prolific, man.
And they were translated into 38 languages. She continues to be referenced in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most novels. I don't even know what you all are doing. For the most novels published in a single year in
I will
1976.
tell you as soon as we hit stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
no doubt.
It is NSFW.
So, yes.
All right, so she wrote more than...
NSFP
Yes,
podcast.
but here's the thing. I can't stand her. I can't stand her.
Close, gosh. Sorry. Just close the book on this lady.
But So I really can't though. So she's writing these what quote unquote pure romance novels.
Oh, what?
Okay.
Yes.
Like Amish?
I don't even actually those might be more pure than hers.
Have you all
I don't
read
know.
Amish
I
fiction
have
before?
not.
I have.
I have not.
I have always
have.
wondered.
I know it's very
like,
popular around
what
with some
the-
people. But she
That's
so
I would just like to take a second to acknowledge this is a first for us, I think.
this is where we're like laughing and we can't.
What-
we're like trying to not
just
say.
I almost use a very poor choice of words.
Yeah.
So I've always wondered what the end will say is
Yeah. Right.
in an Amish romance novel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do they like make eye contact or something? Like, is that
They
like
shake hands, perhaps.
like the special ending of an Amish romance novel?
They
You know?
return from there. What's the name of the?
Rumspringa.
That's the thing. Yeah, they return.
Do they hold hands?
Uh, yeah.
And as the sun
maybe.
drifted down behind the mountains,
Hey, so I'll say
Ezekiel reached over and grasped Sarah's hand, and all was well.
you got. I can't.
Fiend.
You can't feed. Right? So.
I don't know. I've not read any. I don't know. I'm just assuming that that's
Maybe
what they
our
are.
homework should be
Well,
read an Amish fiction.
I've read a couple. I've
Have
read a
you?
couple.
Oh, you
yeah,
have?
I
Okay.
have. So I do.
Please do enlighten us.
I do a program from
Yes.
it's one of my outreach programs called What's Going On at the Library. And as part of that program, we talk about that month's library programs, in-house, outreach, blah, blah, blah. But I also do a book talk. So I read
Mm-hmm.
just a few books a month. And honestly, sometimes I skim a few books a month, this kind of thing. But I try to challenge myself. So I've read some Amish fiction. It's been a while ago. Now I'm feeling a little sheepish because I can't exactly remember. They all are very similar to me, and they kind of
Yes.
blend together.
Well, it's
That's
like
not a criticism.
Yeah.
It's a
but
formulaic.
It really
It
is.
is,
It really
it
is.
is.
And then that, I mean, because she talks about her. I watched some interviews with her this morning, and so she's talking about her process and everything. Like she rises promptly at because she's British, of course. So and a very very fine quote unquote fine lady. And so she rises very promptly at 9:15, but she's not called at 9:15. But at 8:15, her dog is taken out, and then at 8:30, the other dog is taken out. And of course, I'm awake because they're coming in. And so I'm quoting her from this interview. And so then at 1:30. So after that, she does her correspondence with one of her secretaries,
Oh,
and then she has lunch.
well,
And then promptly at 1:30, we sit down to write.
Well, no wonder she lived till she was almost 100
yeah,
years
for
old.
sure.
Yes.
She had such a
She had like 5
It's
secretaries.
a charmed life.
Okay, it is. Yeah.
And so she would dictate her
It's a
books.
semi-charmed life.
She would dictate her books to these various secretaries who were sitting behind
Oh.
her, so she could not see them.
That's great.
She would sit on the couch and dictate her books to her secretaries.
I would like to be able to dictate a book.
On one hand, I'm like, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, oh, she's so pompous.
Yeah,
I
for
bet
sure.
that they
yeah,
sat
okay.
back there and like flipped her off the entire time.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know. But the interviews
Barbara.
I'm seeing are from her, like from
Cool story,
77.
Barbara.
It's like, yeah, this is not just like the other 300
In the
books that we
evening,
just read.
all of
wrote,
her
but I don't
secretaries
know.
went down to the local pub, and they're like, "Well, how was Barb today?"
But no, I mean, she's very well. I mean, she's very popular with people who like that type of
The pure romance.
the pure
Yeah,
romance.
yeah,
And she's
right.
very very
Which is a
popular. Very
popular
It is.
genre.
It is.
Sure.
And so, but oh God, there was an interview that I saw with her. It was one of those talk show interviews, and I don't remember the name of the host. But it was her and Jackie Collins and this other guy. And the conversation between her and Jackie Collins,
I bet that got heated.
it got a little interesting. And at one point, she was, actually kind of said some rather veiled nasty things to Jackie Collins,
I'm sure
who
she
handled
was
it like a
full of
pro.
judgment.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
Very, very, very much. And so she's like, I don't even really want to quote her anymore because I really can't stand this woman. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I'm also a sucker for a great gothic romance. But what prompted this is right now so that I can just kind of zone out at night and
yeah, man.
actually chill out.
Enjoy
I'm
yourself.
actually reading some Victoria Holt book right now, which is also in the romance genre. I wouldn't say it's a quote unquote pure romance because they all have to. But I think that this is like right on the edge of that.
So Barbara,
But it's very, very gothic
what's
still.
her last name?
Cartland.
Rumspringa?
Cartland.
Oh, okay. Does she? Do we have her books here in?
I don't don't know if we do though.
Our collection? I'm sure we have
Like-
something, yeah.
We probably have some of hers. I don't.
What's the
I mean,
last
she had
name
700. Cartland.
Barbara Cartland. I've never heard of her.
Yeah.
I'll have to do some research.
Yeah. But she always presented herself. Whenever she had interviews or someone was coming, she always wore pink chiffon,
Okay,
pink
right on.
chiffon dress, lots and lots of jewelry,
Okay.
a blonde wig, and heavy makeup.
All right, lady.
Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no
she
doubt.
was an interesting person. I disagree with most of what I have heard from her, but she was a very interesting person.
I do a lot of book clubs also all around the county. And I really like talking to especially kids, but adults also, about books that they don't like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of like you bring this up a lot, April. You get
Yeah.
I notice that you get really into your characters and really into your stories, and when you don't like something, it's just all over you. You know, you're passionate about what you
True.
like and what you don't like, and I really respect. I'm the same way. Obviously, all I do is complain about Star Wars and technology on this podcast. It seems like. So, having said that, I think there's a lot. I don't mean to just kind of go on and on, but I think there's a lot of merit to identifying what we don't like and why. And
Yeah.
and I also think like being that we're a public library podcast, like we're a place where everybody can come and find something that they like
Yeah.
and something that they don't like.
Well, I mean,
You know?
I think that there's a lot of merit in finding what you don't like, because when you know what you don't like, you can at least go looking for what you do like.
No doubt. I
And
mean,
there's a
it's
lot of
discerning.
merit for that.
It's
It is.
discernment, you know?
It is, and it's people who go through life not knowing either way.
Right.
They're really not. They're just kind of floating along. They're not really going anywhere or doing anything. In my opinion,
Go
anyway.
ahead, dude, yeah.
So we do
So-
have a book of hers.
We do have a book of
Just
hers.
one of the
Released in
978.
2017.
Okay.
Okay.
17
that?
years after her death.
How
Yes.
about
Well, it was It was probably one of those.
Yep.
Probably one of those
So she's
unfinished
basically
manuscripts.
the Tupac Shakur of
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Machiavelli, man, she's alive.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, we are out of time.
Wow.
And the
What a
good
day.
thing with all of this is that you can find all sorts of fantasy things at the Madison County Public Library.
No doubt. Whatever your fantastical world is.
You
know?
can play fantasy football with, not necessarily in a league, but you can get it in Madden. Please come and check out our Madden games if we have any left.
Yeah, right. For sure. For sure.
If we have any left, and I say any left because they circulate very quickly.
Right on. Yeah.
And you can get, I don't even remember what you talked about. Sorry. Brandon.
Transactions.
Or you can use the video games.
internet
No
also.
Yeah,
doubt.
you can use the internet to do
Yeah,
things.
Yeah,
And you can come and check out this one book by Barbara Cartland. Have fun. I won't be there.
All right, guys.
Bye for now, y'all.
See
you next
ya.
time.